Welcome back to another episode of Torque. Today we're going to finish disassembly of the Mustang. That includes pulling out the engine transmission, the exhaust. We're going to get it stripped down to nothing today. We're also going to build like a little frame on the front and the back so it's ready for the rotisserie, ready to get rolled around, and then also ready for the trailer. We've got lots of stuff to do, so let's get to work. We're going to go ahead and weld some braces in. This is just some old metal that I used for bracing on the Chevelle. Of course, that was a coupe, so it just needed to provide a little bit of strength. This, on the other hand, since it's a unibody, I really think we need to strengthen this up, and especially since it's a convertible. So I'm definitely going to weld this in place. I'm going to weld it in some inconspicuous places, in here, right here, and then also where the hinge mounts up, I'm going to weld right in half to that. And then once I have this in place, welded in place, I'm actually going to take some metal and weld across, and then at an angle as well. That should keep it from going this way, twisting. It should give it a lot of strength. So let's go ahead and get to work and get this thing strengthened up. Just want to show you guys, you don't need a fancy welder for this. This isn't a MIG welder. This thing I bought in like 1994, 1995, and the thing will just not break. I'd like to get a smaller welder, but I won't buy one until this actually goes kaput. So I'll just keep on using this. I actually bought it to work on and build a Viper kit car, and I'll show you guys a couple pictures of that. It actually turned out pretty decent. I finished it up and then we sold it. It's been several years ago. It was pretty cool, but what a terrible kit that was. It was so much work. So let's go ahead and get back to this. We'll go ahead and start welding these braces in and get it boxed up so we can move on to that engine compartment. We're going to go ahead and weld up this front beam, and then we'll do a cross in the center, and we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and get this welded in. That pretty much does it for the bracing. I think we're going to be pretty good with this. I mean, this thing, I think you could pick up the whole body if you wanted to with this bracing. So we're going to go ahead and start moving on, start taking some stuff apart in the engine compartment and getting ready to pull that motor. All right, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this. I haven't really looked at it at all. I just got it up on the lift. Yeah, everything's rusted up pretty good. I don't see any holes as of yet. Of course, the exhaust, that's going to come out. Rear end was looked like it leaked a little bit. There's rust on everything. It's gonna be tough to get some of these bolts out. You can see that floor pan this is the rear footwell. It's going to have to be redone. Got some surface rust there that may pop through also. These cables are all rusted up. I'm going to have to just cut some of this. So I guess this is just for the convertibles. It's got like a pretty thick plate on there. That's over 1/8 inch plate, I believe. And that's pretty strong too for the bottom of the seat mount. See some of the lines that are running back. This doesn't look too bad up here. So I think we're going to go ahead and start on the exhaust. I'm not going to even try to unbolt this exhaust. I'm just going to sawzall it. I got some fresh sawzall blades. We're going to cut that, take several pictures of all the mounts, and we're going to get that exhaust out pretty quick. All right, let's start cutting this exhaust. Now, I hate wearing goggles. I can't stand these things. But if you're cutting up an old rusty car, I've had rust in my eyes. You definitely want to wear them. So, yeah, let's go ahead and have some fun and get this thing apart. Well, that's an easy way to pull apart the Y portion. I hope you guys saw that. Oh, that thing weighs a ton. And the exhaust is out. That was pretty easy. All right, let's move this thing forward and see if we can't get it out. There we go. You know what? The camera is right underneath the end of that, and I don't want to get it doused with fluid, so I'm going to move you. And just pull it straight out. There we go. All right, I just want to show you guys something. So the fuel line and the brake line run right next to each other underneath inside the tunnel. But there's these clips that hold them together, and I cleaned that area off. I think these are some crazy clips. I don't know what Ford was thinking. And there's 3 of them. One here, here, and there's one up front that we have to pull apart. And they spread, the little tabs spread, it looks like, in the inside. So we're going to try and pull this apart, hopefully to push through. What a crazy way to install fuel lines and brake lines. Let's see if we can't get this apart. There we go. At least these things are rusted enough that, yep, they just poke right through. And there we go. The line should drop out. Okay, we got a little bit closer to pulling the engine. I'm just going to show you the motor mounts. Motor mounts, you can see that right there. It's just the one nut and then the stud. The stud is held in place, so when you pull up the engine, that's just going to come right out. One on each side. For the transmission cross member, you actually have 2 for the mounts for the transmission, and then for the cross member, you just have 2 through bolts. One there, one on the other side. I've got those loosened up, so those are ready to go. So I've got to just pull off the sway bar. Yet I have to drain the transmission, and we're about ready to pull this engine. All right, I did pull off the carburetor and all those hard lines. Those I just cut because they were so rotted. I wasn't going to bother with that. That's kind of a boring stuff. I did put on this leveler, bolted it in 4 locations. Hopefully that's going to be enough to tilt this engine enough to try and get this out. All right, we're getting ready to pull out this engine and transmission. So we've got my brother-in-law, Pat, my nephew, Austin, and we're going to get this engine and transmission out. Right on cue.
That's hilarious.
Right there on the left. On the left. Oh no, not that one.
Honestly,
you'll
that
be there all day. We're going to go ahead and take off the shocks, off the shock towers. All right, so this is what a drum looks like that was completely seized up. We've hit it enough times that it cracked all around the edge, and we're able to spin it. You can see this drum is still locked up. Let's go take a look at the other side. So this one we actually had to beat with the sledgehammer, and we broke the whole drum on the exterior, and now this spins. So yeah, we're gonna completely take this apart, and that's definitely gonna go in the trash. We're gonna go ahead and try and compress this spring. We're gonna try and get it off of this perch, just a little bit, just to get the pressure off of it, and then that way we can pull this upper A-arm. All right, make sure when you pull out this upper A-arm that you mark these shims, these alignment shims. That's gonna get you close for your original alignment. You definitely wanna mark where these came from. All right, let me show you real quick. You can see this lower A-arm, the bolt head is over on this side. You can't remove that bolt until you pull this engine brace off. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these off, these bolts, pull out these other bolts for the lower A-arms. I think I'm gonna put these back in. I just want more rigidity in this chassis so it doesn't move. So let's go ahead and pull these, and then we'll get these lower A-arms off. Let's go ahead and do the other side. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and pull this. All right, so this is the tooling that I made. A lot of times I didn't have anybody helping me out when I'm trying to take out a rear end. So I used a cherry picker, just welded some bars to actually pick up and surround each side of the axle and bolt on. So that way I can just unbolt the springs, or in case of my Chevelle is just unbolt the rear end, the 4-link, and drop it all down using this, and I didn't have to worry about putting on a transmission jack. I could do it all by myself, so it works out really well. So let's go ahead and try and pull these shackles apart, and hopefully they come apart fairly decent. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and preload this a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on this, holding this axle up. And now let's go ahead and see if we can't yank some of these out. Look, that forward bolt, I believe, is ready to come out. All right, believe it or not, I did get this left side out, so we're gonna beat the crap out of this one, see if we can get this to move. Rotate this down some, and then we'll be able to slide this one off. Let's see if that'll work. Now this is where I say this is great to have this tool. No heavy lifting. I just drop this straight down. I used this to rebuild my 12 bolt on the Chevelle. I was able to build it right there, standing up. I wasn't in a bad, position. It works really well. So let me get this out of here. Okay, so now that we've got everything stripped off the body, we have to figure out a way to get this on the trailer, and I'd rather have casters on it, be able to roll it up instead of trying to use, let's say, the tractor to pick this thing up. So I'm gonna try and make a little small frames to actually bolt in that would be really easy to remove. I'm gonna try and pick up these points from the A-arm. So I'm gonna use some 2-inch square tubing, and we're gonna pick up these holes and then I'm gonna have a bar going across that's 3 feet long that'll extend a little bit past this to give it a little bit of stability, and then we're gonna add casters onto that. Now this is gonna rock back and forth, and I want to keep it from rocking, so I may pick up a point, let's say where the sway bar goes. So let's go ahead and try and get this built up. I'm not going to show you guys the whole process, don't want to bore you, but I will show you the aftermath and what I did. Let's take a look at what I came up with. So I had about 6 inches drop here on both sides, 3-foot section going across. Then I added these kind of lateral bars to give it strength so it wouldn't move back and forth, and that goes right to the sway bar mounts that I just picked up one hole there. So this thing's pretty stout. I actually put just a quick disconnect for the casters itself, so I can just pull the pin. If they don't want to pull off this complete frame, they can just pull the pin, remove these casters. So it turned out pretty good. It's pretty strong. So now we got to figure out something for the back. All right, I went ahead and did a modification to this front. I actually added on this 2.5-inch tubing that my rotisserie will slide right into. I'm hoping that that's enough support. I've got the diagonal support there. It's all welded in. I think so. I can pretty much pick up this front end with these 2 bars. If not, I'll have to add a little support up here, take something off of this bolt, come down and tap into this. The rear end went a little crazy with that, but it's got to support the entire car. So I went ahead and picked up where the front of the leaf springs bolt up, this 2-inch bar all the way back, then it goes into the 2.5, so I can put my rotisserie on there. And you can see these standoffs go straight up, and that actually goes into that partial frame. One of the holes that was there. That's not the leaf spring pickup, but it's one of the holes that I could use. So it came out pretty good. I used some 1x2 here just to stiffen up the whole thing, and then I made the wheels so that they're removable. I'll be able to pull the pin and pull these back off. So we're gonna go ahead and lower this and see if we can't roll it around. All right, just want to show you real quick. I've got some of the pieces up on tables getting ready to go get dipped. Just going through, pulling all the clips off. And of course the driver's side, I didn't really find too much. A couple of screws were missing off the shield. So that's no big deal. This passenger side, what a difference. So when I looked it over, felt the outside and inside, this has definitely been in a wreck. This has been pushed in quite a bit. I went to knock out the little pins for the emblem. Come to find out, emblem didn't have any pins. It's been taped on for 30-40 years. When you look on the outside, those pins weren't holding anything. They left them in place and bondoed over the top of them and painted it. Just a truly amazing. So we're gonna see after we get it dipped the condition it's in, but I believe that this may have to be replaced. This fender may have to be replaced unless they have a repair section. All right, so we got everything checked over, the body, the doors, the hood, the fenders, the trunk lid. It's all set, ready to go get dipped. But you guys won't see that until the next episode. So I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you on another episode of Torqued.